Let's see. I went on an interview recently and I never heard back, and I was concerned because I thought the interview went really well. Well, I get this one a lot too, and it's interesting. It's something that you really need the answer to this question before the question comes up. But for anyone who is about to go on an interview or anticipating an interview, the way to handle follow up, presuming that you like what you heard and they like you, and that's an educated guess on your part, but people give signs. I mean, if you're in there for an hour, chances are it went well. Otherwise, you would have been dismissed in 15 or 20 minutes. Because if I find out I'm not interested in somebody in an interview, I don't prolong their agony. I say, I don't think there's a good fit here, and I think you'd be better served doing something else. And but thank you for your time, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. So in terms of okay, the interview is coming to a close, and again, it's like a first date, right? You want a second date, and you think that he does, she does as well, and they say, well, okay, great, no, that went great, Mark. We'll get back to you real soon because we want to make a decision. Oh, okay, thanks. Yeah, thanks for your time. Well, now it's your responsibility. That's not the way to handle that situation. The way to handle that situation is, well, I tell you what, since you've got a lot going on, obviously interviewing people and very busy, I would like to suggest that if I don't hear from you, let's say by next Wednesday by 3 o'clock or so, why don't I give you a call and just to take that off your calendar reminder list. And so you're positioning it as doing a favor, which it is, but you also now have permission to call Wednesday at 3 o'clock. And so people always say, I don't want to be a pest. I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to be. Well, you set the wrong expectations. You left without setting the right expectations. And in the context of that, one of my favorite pieces of advice from a consultant that worked with me for a couple of years was the best sign that a meeting went well is that you scheduled the next meeting. And I think that's just a solid rule of thumb in the process of interviewing, because I hear that from people all the time. And when I coach people to go on interviews, I share that information with them, and 50% of the people walk out the door without doing it. And then they call me and say, what do I do? And I say, well, what you do is what I told you should have done. And there's other ways around that. But I mean, if you're worried about being a pest or a nuisance, I would say, well, where's that coming from? So you didn't button it up properly. Shame on you. Move forward. Make the call and get your feedback. Because again, if you're polite and professional, if somebody's going to get upset that you're following up on something that they spent an hour doing a week ago, that's unreasonable. So again, that's a sign that this person might be somebody that you need to reconsider working for. Some of these things are good, even though they're maybe confrontational or feel negative, because they reach a logical conclusion faster. They waste less of your time. It's frustrating to go through the entire process and not really understand what's going on. So don't be shy about following up, but you should button that up. Put the person in a proverbial box with a specific time and a specific day, and position it as you trying to respect their busy schedule. Okay.